Welcome to yet another episode of the Born Free Network. We are the heirs of this democracy, and therefore very, very important conversations need to be had. Lieutenant or Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, you will forever remain immortalized in South African history. You, sir, have opened a gargantuan can of worms. And as per usual, we are the early birds, so we get to catch all the worms. Today, I want to answer a very, very burning question on the minds of most South Africans, which is, why are South African celebrities so quiet about the Mkhwanazi saga? Why are South African celebrities so quiet about the allegations leveled against the government? Now, we don't expect them to speak because we view them as some sort of political leaders or figureheads or some sort of intellects. No, we're just holding them accountable because if my memory serves me well, people like Johnny Clegg would sing songs. Asimbonanga Mandela. Letta Mbulu would sing a song, Not Yet Uhuru. We miss you, Mandela. Where are you? These were all songs that were sang by artists that were not in bed with the corrupt government. So right now, when we see our artists being so quiet about issues that are pertinent and even affect their own lives, this is proof that these are artists that are compromised. So I want to create a link from the 6th July press briefing by Mkhwanazi, from there to the murder of DJ Sumbody, the potential killing of DJ City Lights, and I'm going to be able to show to you that most South African artists are actually compromised and hence why they can never speak out. So we are the heirs of this democracy and therefore very, very important conversations need to be had. What I aim to do during this stream is to draw a link between Brown Mogotsi and all the murders that have happened in South Africa as a result of the mafia. All right. So have a look at this page, right? This is the first time that we ever got introduced to this Brown Mogotsi character. This was via the Maverick online publication. Let's listen to what they're saying. They're saying, Brown Mogotsi, a known Ramaphosa campaigner in the Northwest, has written a legal letter to Mahumapelo saying he is ready to approach the High Court on Tuesday to interdict that decision. Now make a note here. Brown Mogotsi, this is the first time that we are being introduced to him. They're calling him a known Ramaphosa campaigner in Northwest, and they're saying that he's trying to oust a certain Mahumapelo. Okay? So who is this Mahumapelo? I think this is a very pertinent question to ask. Who is this Mahumapelo? Why is Brown Mogotsi, a very known Ramaphosa campaigner, working to oust him? Okay, so let's follow up and see. I decided to do some digging and maybe try and figure out, hey guys, what's actually going on here? And in 2017, I found a tweet by the Economic Freedom Fighters. They're saying, we have seen the injustice caused on Fifi Cooper by Ambitiouz Entertainment, which is politically associated with the corrupt Northwest Premier Supra Mahumapelo. All right. So already this is drawing a link for us. Who is this Mahumapelo? Who is this Brown Mogotsi? Why are they butting heads at a high political level? Now, remember, all I'm trying to do is to draw a link between South African artists, drug trafficking, human trafficking, and money laundering, and their connection to the ANC mafia. Mind you, most of these people are my colleagues. We work together. I love them, but they're not the ones who commit these crimes. And if I remain quiet, then I remain complicit in these crimes as well. I don't hate any of the people that I'm going to mention. I have no problem with them, but it's very important to note that if we don't speak out against things, then we are basically saying that we agree with them happening, right? So this Mr. Brown Mogotsi had a beef with Supra Mahumapelo, and this was in 2018. Okay, so who is this Supra Mahumapelo? Who is this Brown Mogotsi? It's quite clear that Brown Mogotsi was working in the CR17 campaign, which was Cyril Ramaphosa's presidency campaign in the year 2017, and he was a part of that faction. Supra Mahumapelo was a part of the opposite faction, the Zuma faction, okay? Now check this out. Those of you who do not know who Supra Mahumapelo is, he was the Northwest Premier, and he was also the ANC provincial chairperson, and he was a very close friend of Jacob Zuma. Right, just follow me right now because you need to understand how all of this links together. South African artists are all complicit in drug trafficking, human trafficking, and money laundering. That's why they cannot speak out against this corrupt ANC mafia. They are the ones who are the main beneficiaries to their bookings at all of these clubs. Don't worry, we're getting into it right now. So you know who Supra Mahumapelo is. This is the Northwest Premier, an ANC provincial chairperson, and a very close friend of Jacob Zuma. Let's go back to the EFF tweet. I want you guys to understand what's really happening here because it's a political war that's being using artists. And that's because artists are a huge part of this. We have seen the injustice caused on Fifi Cooper by Ambitiouz Entertainment, which is politically associated with the corrupt Northwest Premier Supra Mahumapelo. You got that? We have contacted Fifi with the willingness to help her fight back against the corrupt and exploitative recording company. Nice stuff. So, how is Ambitiouz Entertainment in any way linked? How is Ambitiouz Entertainment in any way linked to this Jose Mahumapelo? Stay with me. I'll show you something. This is a Wikipedia page for Ambitiouz Entertainment. It says, Ambitiouz Entertainment is a South African independent record label owned and founded by Jose Mahumapelo. You know, streets is talking. So this Jose Mahumapelo is rumored to be the little brother of Supra Mahumapelo. So his proximity to power is what allowed him to build such a giant of a record label and have access to fund artists like Emtee, Fifi Cooper, and Amanda Black. But actually, let's just have a look at who are the artists that actually belong to Ambitiouz Entertainment. I have a list for you here. Some of them might be our faves, so please bear with me. I don't hate these people, as I say. These are my counterparts, my colleagues, some of whom I have worked with, some of whom have done great for me. But the truth is the truth, and we are going to speak the truth regardless of what it does or what it means. So, Sjava. Sjava was produced by Ambitiouz Entertainment, one of the biggest and loudest voices that we have in the South African entertainment industry. And if you were to scroll any of these timelines, you're not going to see a single word speaking out against the powers that be. Nothing on General Mkhwanazi, nothing on Brown Mogotsi, nothing on the corruption that is being perpetuated by the ANC mafia, nothing at all. You know who else is on that list? A. Reese is on that list. He was created by the power of the ANC. He became a star through the funding that was provided to Jose Mahumapelo. Emtee, one of the GOATs, we call him the GOATs within hip-hop circles. He came up as a result of ANC funding through Ambitiouz Entertainment, allegedly. Jay Jody, that's A. Reese's brother, nothing much to say about him. Amanda Black, Amazulu, great vocalist, great songstress, but she's not going to say anything politically charged because these are all people who are beneficiaries. They're all together in a crooked place, as a famous South African philosopher once said. Black Diamond, Malume Vector. The only reason why we're calling out South African artists is because they hop on every single trend. Stupid things. Hoshkara Maima, you'll see them doing that. But when it comes to actual conversations that affect our day-to-day livelihood in South Africa, they go quiet. Casper Nyovest can only stream his Call of Duty side quests. All of a sudden, he has nothing to say about the government. The government is making the same youth that supports him 65% unemployed. But he cannot see how that's going to turn around and bite him. He'd rather play Call of Duty and be stuck in a box. Now, granted, he lives in Midrand. So he lives behind a high wall. He's probably not even experiencing any of the issues that we real South Africans are experiencing. But we will hold you accountable because we elevated you to that point. And if you no longer represent what we think and feel and believe, then we have the rights to withdraw our support from you. So I hope you see why so many South African artists cannot speak out against this rot. Let's go a little bit deeper. There's a lot that the EFF really uncovered in terms of money laundering, drug trafficking, human trafficking, as it has relation to the South African music industry. So he's a very famous guy. He's a troublemaker, but he's famous. His people love him, but he's a troublemaking guy. He goes by the name of Julius Malema, right? This guy is a former ANC member, and think it was 2016, where he exposed that there was major money laundering that was going on, something to the tune of like 5 million rand per artist. Okay, where did this happen? Something called Mabala Noise. Do you guys remember that whole debacle of Mabala Noise? They went out there, they got Chris Brown, Migos. They even took an unknown South African rapper that no one even knows till this day. They took that guy, they took him overseas to go and rap with Tiger. Made songs with Tiger, shooting in a video in a Lamborghini. Now he's back here in South Africa and no one even knows him. If he goes to buy bread at Pick and Pay, no one even asks for a selfie. But so many millions were spent in flying him overseas, getting that visa, shooting the video, getting the clearance, coming back, the Tiger verse, everything. But no one knows that guy. So Julius Malema alleged that Reggie Nkabinde was running a money laundering ring, using state funds and using money from illegally acquired tenders from the Departments of Water and Sanitation. And he was using Mabala Noise as a money laundering project. Now, this is all alleged because I wasn't there, brother. I already said no to all my record deals because I understood the game. But this is what the president of the EFF is alleging. Now, let me show you some proof because this is not about me. Let me show you. This is a guy who opened the case against these people. Check this out. It says, the EFF opens a case of racketeering and fraud against Mabala Noise owner Reggie Nkabinde. Look at the man, looking nice and dapper there. Yes, is that the Maybach? Yeah, it looks like that's the Maybach. See that? ANC Youth League Treasurer General and entertainment business mogul Reggie Nkabinde will have his empire, comprising of 24 companies, probed by the Hawks after EFF opened a fraud case against him. Look, I don't know what this man does, but already if you have 24 companies, my brother, I don't... I probably had like 4 companies and that's it. Having 24 companies, I just don't know. You might have not done anything wrong as yet, but that's already giving a red flag. So this was the EFF exposing something that we all kind of thought we knew, but they took it to court through the Hawks. Now check this out. How many artists were actually part of Mabala Noise? Let's see. Nasty C, Ricky Rick, Gigi Lamaine, Major League DJs, Kanyimbau, Zola, Zagu. At least Kanyimbau, she spent that money on an asset that cannot be repossessed. You know, she bleached her skin. That's hers forever. She's always been great with money. I don't know what the other Bruce did, but Julius Malema alleged that these artists received something to the tune of 5 million rands each. Now, I know that's a lie. Nobody's going to spend 5 million rands on Gigi Lamaine's raps. That's absolute cap. But it is true that they received a huge signing bonus because even Mao did confirm that. Now, the only reason why we're bringing these things to light, I want to show you that there is an inextricable link between the ANC, record labels, money laundering, and clubs. I haven't even started right there, but I'm showing you that most of the money that these artists are getting, they're getting to be signed to a record label. So once you're signed to a record label, you're basically an employee. You're going to receive a monthly salary. You're going to be controlled on what you can and cannot say. Does it align with company policy or does it not? And the worst thing about being that type of employee is that you have such an amplified voice and everything that you are thinking, you can't really say. But the conundrum is that people love you for your thoughts because you make music, but you can't share all of your thoughts because the company does not align with those thoughts. So that's where the issue starts. All of these artists that I've listed, Java, A-Reese, Emtee, J. Jody, Amanda Black, Black Diamond, Nasty C, Gigi Lamaine, Major League DJs, Kanyimbau, all of these people cannot say anything to speak up and support what the general was alleging during his press briefing, because they are all beneficiaries. I'm going to get into how South African musicians are part of money laundering through the club system, part of drug trafficking through the whole touring system. We're going to get into that right now. But I'm just trying to develop this link and show. Remember, we started from Brown Mogotsi. Brown Mogotsi was an enemy of Supra Mahumapelo. Supra Mahumapelo is the brother of Jose Mahumapelo. Kgosi Mahumapelo is the owner of Ambitiouz Entertainment. Ambitiouz Entertainment gave you Aries, Java, Emtee, Amanda Black, Black Diamond, Malume Vector, and CC. That's why these people cannot say anything to speak up against the ANC, for they were beneficiaries of the ANC's corruption and they were beneficiaries of ANC contracts and performances. So they cannot turn around now and say, this corruption needs to end. It is only the people who have been closed out of the circle who can speak about this corruption. Hence why I'm saying to you even now, I don't expect any of them to say anything because they know which side their bread is buttered. Now, taking it into Mabala Noise. Remember, all of this has one common factor, which is the ANC. Brown Mogotsi, member of the ANC, fighting with Supra Mahumapelo, ANC chairperson. Supra Mahumapelo is the brother of Kgosi Mahumapelo, owner of Ambitiouz Entertainment. Ambitiouz Entertainment brought you Java, Aries, Emtee, Amanda Black, Malume Vector, and Black Diamond. Right? And then the former ANC member, Julius Malema, then goes on to attack the ANC Treasury General for the Youth League, which is Reggie Nkabinde. He says to him, you, sir, you have an unscrupulous relationship with the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Nomvula Mokonyane. And she says that you have been acquiring, he says that you have been acquiring illegitimate tenders through that special relationship. And then you have been using the money from those special relationships to start something called Mabala Noise. And through Mabala Noise, you have laundered those funds using artists like Nasty C, Ricky Rick, Gigi Lamaine, Major League DJs, Kanyimba Uzola, and so forth. So now, the ANC is so deeply entrenched in creating so many of the superstars that I have mentioned now. It requires you to then ask yourself, do you think any of these superstars would go out on a limb and say that they are speaking out against this? The deeper thing that you should think about is, can you really trust these people to hold an opinion that controls yours? Because they're actually very much compromised. So even if something were to be not beneficial to you or to them, they can't really speak the truth, knowing which side their bread is buttered on. You need to be really worried about stuff like that. And I want to actually explore a deeper link, how the ANC has always been connected to musicians. Because right now, Chico Twala's son, Longwe Twala, is one of these people who are at the forefront suspects for, well, not in courts at least, but in real life, people are suspecting that Longwe had something to do with the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Longwe is the son of Chico Twala. Chico Twala is a record label owner, and he used to manage Brenda Fassie. Now, his friendship with Cyril Ramaphosa is very closely documented. And due to his friendship with Cyril Ramaphosa, after that gun went off, he was the first person to get a call at the crime scene. And then he started to call all his powerful friends to sort it out. This is a musician. Chico Twala is a musician. I don't think you guys really understand the depth of that. Here's another thing I want to explore. In 2023, the DA flagged a 1.7 million rand fraudulent payment to a company known as 999 Music. If you know anything about music, you know that 999 is a giant of a company that was owned by a legend called Arthur Mafukate. It produced Omakendlasi or Chomi. Big names. In the year 2023, his company was flagged for 1.7 million rand fraudulent payments from the government for a New Year's Eve event. Again, what does that show you? There's a link between record labels and the government. Inextricable link. And that's why there's so much control over the narrative. There is no artist that will speak out against the government because that's against the company policy of the record label that they signed at. The record label knows which side their bread is buttered on. They know where the money comes from. So there's no way that they're going to allow any artist to stand up and say, yo, I'm going to call out the government. Like I said, and I will repeat again, because I know some of you people are a TikTok generation. So perhaps you are going to want to chop this and put it on TikTok. Listen very clearly. There is a guy, Brown Mogotsi, the one who was mentioned. He's like a main character of the Mkhwanazi speech. Brown Mogotsi was a main op, to use hip-hop language. He was a main op to Supra Mahumapelo. Supra Mahumapelo is the brother of Kgosi Mahumapelo. Kgosi Mahumapelo is the owner of Ambitiouz Entertainment. Ambitiouz Entertainment produced some of the biggest stars that we have in South Africa right now. So they are the ones who control the discourse politically and socially, because everyone listens to their music. They have the loudest voices. So the only reason why I'm making this video is that I want people to stop relying on artists to help them think, because artists are compromised. From the arts that they produce to the opinions that they hold, none of them are really theirs. And this is because these people took funding from here. Now I'm not done. I've explored 3 links for you. I've explored the Ambitiouz Entertainment link. I've explored the Mabala Noise link. I've explored the 999 music link. Now, on top of that, 999 also received money from the National Lotteries Commission, right? About 56 million rands. Now, even some of the people who are my friends used to work for Atamafukate, and they used to earn money for doing other types of jobs for him for this national lottery thing. But look, let me just keep quiet there because I don't want to be called into some commission to testify. I don't know anything. But what I'm saying is these artists are right at the pinnacle of misappropriating government funds. But they're not even giving them the majority or the lion's share. They're just giving them a little bit to keep them quiet, because we don't want people who are hungry to go around spreading to everyone else what's really happening. So now I want to also tell you guys, before I part and leave here, I want to tell you guys what actually happens with money laundering, drug trafficking, record labels, how it actually moves. So I'm going to try and make examples. Whoever's name that I use in this example, it's purely for an example. I'm not insinuating that you're a part of any drug trafficking ring. None of that. So listen to this. I am a record label owner. Call me Casper in your vest if you want to. I own a record label. I sign a few artists. And then my closest friend, call him Ricky Rick if you want to. He's a drug trafficker, right? And then my other friend, call him Gaza the Small if you want to. He owns a club. So let me tell you how these things work hand in hand to make sure that the money is clean and undetectable by SARS. And even if it were detected, it wouldn't flag anything. So let me show you how these 3 things work hand in hand. Let's call it the triangle of money laundering. Cool. So I'll sell a ton of drugs and I'll come through with a profit of about 10 million rand. And then I say to you, hey, my brother, listen, about 10 million rand that I want to clean. Let's throw an event at your club. He says, sure thing. How are we going to do this? He says, all right, cool. First things first, we're going to say 200 rands per ticket. Or let's just say 500 rands per ticket. We don't even need people to buy the tickets. We'll make sure the event is sold out on our own, because that's how it actually works. 500 rands a ticket, and then a bottle of Hennessy, which is 600 rands at ShopRite, you're going to get it for 21,000 rands for that particular event. Only because the aim is to make sure that this 10 million rands amount gets processed as clean money, it's bankable and taxable, and then I look like a legit businessman. So we come to your event, I'm like, okay, brother, can I have 100 or 1,000 tickets by the door? That's already 500,000 rand. I buy them cash. You, as the club owner, you only declare this cash as ticket sales. 500,000 rand, 1,000 people were there. So now you only have 9.5 million rands left to clean up. And then you say, okay, my brother, come to me, Casper, the label owner. You're like, dog, I need entertainment for my event. How many artists can you give me? And then I tell you, listen, my brother, I'll give you the whole roster, right? I'll give you my Emtee. I'll give you my what. Let's just say I'll give you 5 hot artists. You are going to pay us 3 million. Let's just say each artist is going to be charged at 500K an artist. And then the record label produces the invoice. Produce the invoice for you. Boom. You pay it in by cash, deposit, whatever way that you want. Not a problem. 3 million down. Now you have about 6 million rands left to clean. So in just one night, you've cleaned about 4 million rand. And then how does this money flow back to our drug trafficker? He opens a branding company or a marketing company, and then he invoices the club for marketing services for 2 million. And then the club says, oh no, we're going to give him a contract. They give him the contract for marketing, and they pay him 1 million a month for marketing services. That money flows back into his branding company. And then, wow, he has the biggest branding company in the world, but there is no goddamn branding. It's just money laundering flowing from drugs into performances, into ticket sales, into the club, branding, boom, then it's back by you. So I want to explain much further, but I also don't want to waste too much time going in depth about how money laundering works in the music business. Because most artists right now, all right, let's just give you an example. Say I was signed to Fifth Season, right? Say I was signed to Fifth Season, and for some weird reason that's beyond my comprehension, let's just say that the owner of Fifth Season was a illegal immigrant or a drug dealer or both, right? And then he says to me, no, come join my label. You're going to sign alongside AKA, Yanga, Treza, Amifaku, right? And then what you're going to do, I'm going to make sure that you're booked every single weekend, regardless of whether you have a hit or not. You're going to book every single weekend for maybe, let's say, you personally as an artist, you're going to make like 5,000 per show. But on your actual booking invoice, it's reading something like 150,000. That booking invoice is sent to the club that has the dirty drug money. They pay it into the label. I get paid my fair 5,000 share. The label takes maybe another 50,000, and then they are going to hire that same drug dealer's branding company or consultation company, and they're going to pay them on a monthly consultation fee to make sure that all those payments add up to the amount of money that they're trying to clean. So this is what's happening in South African music industry. Most of the artists don't even know where the money comes from. They're just out there high as hell on drugs, doing whatever drug is provided to them because they don't even have money to buy their own drugs. They just get like a 5,000 and then their rent paid. But you look at this, your label is making millions a month. Where are these millions coming from? Why are you booked every single week without a hit? Same clubs, same rotation, same payment. I think you guys are really missing what might be going on. The reason why South African artists are not going to stand up and speak out against General Mkhwanazi's allegations is because they are all beneficiaries of this corrupt system being run by the ANC. They're involved in drug trafficking, human trafficking. They are involved in money laundering. Most of these artists who say that they own clubs, if you actually were to really follow up, where does the money come from to open up the club? Where does the money flow to after all the profits? Where does the money come from? Sale of alcohol stock. Where does the money come from? That's where you're going to realize that it's all a big, massive, massive play. It's a massive, massive play. So South African artists cannot speak up. Amapiano artists, where are they? Batini bo! The Amapiano artists, Batini bo now. What are the Amapiano artists saying right now? They can't say anything. If your whole career is being funded by drug money and you know that your whole career is just money laundering, then there's no way that you can have a voice and speak out against what's happening. Now, I don't want to share of anything. I'm just telling you what I know because I've been in these rooms. Google me, it's Flex Rabaizi, 2017 winner of the Hustle. I've been in every single room, the highest echelons of the society. I got sent right back to where I come from because my answer to everything was always no. No. Do you want to do this? No. Do you want to try this? No. Do you want to be with? No. Because when this day comes, I still wanted to have a voice to be able to speak for myself and say what I think and feel. Man, I got kids, bro. I wouldn't want to leave this country worse off than how I arrived. When I got here to South Africa, when I was born, life was good, bro. Life was really good. And I'm not sure if my children are going to be able to experience that same type of high quality life unless I do something about it right now. So please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. If you want me to go a bit more in depth and give you better examples and maybe even some things that I know and have seen with my own eyes, please make sure that you drop that in my comments. This is your boy Flex Rabaizi. Much love to everybody. Thank you so much for joining the stream. If you have any questions, just pop them in there for me. I'll give you guys a quick 10 seconds. If nothing, then I'm going to say goodbye. I love you guys so much. There's actually one more thing that I wanted to share with you guys. Very funny stuff, eh? Look at this. finally at a point personally where I can honestly say thank you to Kgosi Mahumapelo and Ambitiouz Entertainment for changing my life, giving me some of the most memorable moments in it so far. At your best, King Hustle. Nothing but love and respect for you. Wishing you blessings and success. See, how can you expect people who are still grateful for their own livelihood to come out there and attack? Ambitiouz is ANC money. Mabala Noise is ANC money. 999 ANC money. I'm not even going to call the other labels. I'm a bit worried that they might come for me, but it's quite clear to you. So the question is answered. South African artists will never speak out against human trafficking, drug trafficking, and especially with all the names that the General Mkhwanazi has called. They're not going to say anything about that. Reason being, all of them are complicit. Love you guys. Thank you for joining the Born Free Network stream. We are the heirs of this democracy. Therefore, very, very important conversations need to be had. Please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Please make sure that you're tuned in to the next Born Free Network stream. This is your boy Flex Easy. I love you all.